This is awesome, awesome. Now let's do this. Now, let's go ahead and get into this thing. So, as I was saying while I was muted, this is our first webinar that we're hosting here, and I'm starting this up thanks to our good friend Francis. He asked within our NouriGain group, what are the workouts that are going to be great for burning fats. Now, I'm going to speak on what has worked for me and the things that I truly believe are going to be the best things that help a person burn fats. If you go into the internet, you're going to see all kinds of different opinions, but this is my journey and what has worked for me. All right. So, first things first, why should you listen to me? Right? Why the heck are you listening to this guy right now? Well, as a person who went through a lot of struggles with trying to get out of the 260s, even though I found myself working in construction, running up extremely tall buildings, 50 plus story buildings, and so forth, working out 6 days a week, um, but still not being able to figure out how to be able to burn fat and get completely shredded, even though I was extremely active. I actually had to come and realize eventually, many years later, that it was just the nutrition side that I was struggling to get locked in, because I originally thought that everything was just exercise, that I could just eat whatever the heck I wanted, and I'd be able to get into the perfect shape. But it wasn't until years later that I figured out the secret little hacks, just a few little hacks that didn't even make it too hard for me to actually find myself getting to the body weight that I wanted. So this is me a few years ago, a little plump, not too crazy, whatever, but a bit more body fat than I actually wanted. And this is me actually earlier this year, much more toned up and literally just living my life, enjoying it like regular. Not really struggling to try to make myself lose weight. It was just happening. And why are we here? Because we're also gamers and anime fans. So as you guys can see here with my Yoshi outfit on, I'm a huge Yoshi fan. So shout out to anybody who also loves the Yoshi gang, because we out here. But what are we going to talk about though? We're going to talk about some myths, because there's some things that people believe, that most of us originally think is the truth behind what it really means to make us lose weight. I'm going to get into some unconventional fat burning activities. We're going to get into the role of dieting in weight loss, because that's a secret hack that I was telling you guys about. The sustainable weight loss strategies and a couple of practical tips just to be able to help that become even more sustainable. And then we'll finish with some Q&A. So, what is the myth? The myth is that people think that we have to do these crazy intense workouts in order to lose weight, that we have to do hits, we have to do CrossFits, we have to go running 70 miles every single day in order to lose weight, in order to lose body fats. But in all actuality, it really just comes down to simply moving more and eating better. But for a lot of people, we struggle with trying to figure out what are the things that I can do to move more, that I can actually do on a regular basis. So that's what we're going to talk about, because we're not just going to simply sit here and talk about working out, doing this type of curl, doing these types of squats. And if you do it this way, you'll automatically burn fats. No, we're going to get down into the real, because at the end of the day, it's simply just about calories in versus calories out. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into it a little bit. I'm going to give you guys a few different examples of things that you can do within your life outside of the gym to help you actually be able to lose body fat. Because at the end of the day, like I was telling you, as long as you're moving more, if you were to change nothing else within your life, as soon as you started moving more, you're automatically going to start burning some of that body fats just by itself. So the idea is for us to first start to explore what are some of those different things that you actually can do to start to burn some of that body fats. So for example, if you're a person that loves dancing, and I think I see somebody within the audience who actually loves a little bit of dancing, but if you love Zumba, for example, salsa, hip hop dancing, ballroom dancing, all of that stuff is high energy stuff that gets your body moving, right? when you're doing it, you're enjoying it, you get your heart rate up, and you're going to find that allowing yourself to be able to burn fat just from you doing that. If you do that on a consistent basis, you're going to find yourself burning fat from that on its own, right? It's almost its own hit workouts. Water sports. If you love to be in the water, some people are dolphins. I know that I'm not. I automatically sink like a rock. But for those of you who can jump into that water and completely enjoy it, there are plenty of things that you can do in order to be able to burn fat while inside of there. Not to mention, it is a very, very nice high resistance training location, because you're just being able to move inside of the water is so much more difficult as compared to moving through this thin stuff that we call air, right? Rock climbing or bouldering. So, for example, if you're doing indoor rock climbing or outdoor rock climbing, if you love doing those types of activities, those are great things that are going to be able to burn fat while also helping you with grip strength and helping you be able to challenge yourself mentally to be able to say, okay, if I can be able to climb this rock, I can also be able to climb these other mental rocks that I have within my own head. Because at the end of the day, we want to also be able to see the other external and internal benefits that we're getting from the activities that we're doing, not just from the fat loss, not just from the muscle being grown. All right. So a couple of other activities will be parkour, mountain biking, trail running, obstacle course running. So all of this stuff allows you to be able to increase your flexibility and be able to build up that endurance, so you can be able to continue to move even stronger and even further. So yes, doing that is going to help with your body fat loss. If you were to do something as simple as outdoor activities like gardening, yard work, these are things that are that people completely underestimate in terms of how much they can actually do in terms of helping people be able to lose body fats. Because if we think about somebody who sits in a chair for 20 plus hours a day versus somebody who's actually going out and doing garden work, yes, you're not putting your heart rate at 200 beats per minute or anything like that, but it's giving you activities that are allowing you to be able to develop skills while also being able to work those muscles very low key, in a very low key manner. And you're actually creating something beautiful in the world while you're doing it. So who can't say no to that? Except for those of us who don't have a green thumb. And then this is probably something that's going to be a huge favorite for people within our community itself, right? Video games, active video games, like VR video games, Wii Sports, for example. So playing different types of video games that actually get you moving. And I would love to be able to see what other things that you guys might have within the comments within the video game worlds that you guys have enjoyed. I know, for example, I really enjoyed Beat Saber. I see Sydney, she's saying DDR. I have a story for DDR back when I was in college. We're gonna come back to that one when we get into the Q&As, because my roommates and I, we have a fun experience back in the college related to that one. But yeah, just different video games that you guys might enjoy, because there are plenty of games out there being made that are getting people moving. And not just ones that you can do inside of your home. There are also ones that people are making that get you moving outside of your home, like Pokemon Go, like Dragon Hunters. No, that's not what it's called. Crap, what is it called? I'm drawing a blank. Um, let me scroll through and recall what it's called. Monster Hunter now, right? These are games that are pushing you to go outside to walk more, because literally just going out for a walk and getting those extra calories in are going to help you be able to burn fat. And I'll get a little bit more into that at a later point within our conversation. Just walking itself. What are some other examples? Now, this gets into a few ones that I love, because back when I was living in Chicago, back when when my activity was at an all-time high, I found myself saying, okay, I have all of this muscle, but I don't know what the heck to do with it. If I were to get into a fight, I'm most likely going to still get my butt kicked anyway, even though I'm bigger than most people. So I started practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I found myself loving it. It was a hell of a time. And with that, the cardio was intense like all hell. So you're getting crazy cardio, learning how to develop skills, and you're able to have fun at the same time, and to be able to network with other people. So I would say martial arts is one of the hidden gems in terms of people finding something to do in order to be able to lose weights. And there are so many different things to be able to try out just within the martial arts space itself. Capoeira, Krav Maga, if you're crazy enough, Taekwondo, judo. So be able to allow yourself to experiment with those different things just to see which one you find yourself enjoying the most. And also, you can unlock your inner Baki by even trying those out. That's how we can get into our inner anime characters and say, oh yeah, I want to be like this character. I want to be like Ippo. So I'm going to practice some boxing and practice a peekaboo style, right? So allow yourself to jump into your inner anime and video game characters by practicing martial arts or team sports like ultimate frisbee, beach volleyball, dodgeball. As we all know, a lot of us play sports probably back in high school or middle school and things like that. And we might have found ourselves not really being the best on the team. So we told ourselves, no, I'm not going to be on the team anymore. And we've ended up quitting on it, but we know that we enjoyed it. So this is now a time where we can actually be able to jump back into it and not have to deal with all of that judgment that we had back in the days, because we're not surrounded by mean students, mean peers telling us that we can't play the sport anymore. So we can be able to jump into different leagues around us in order to be able to engage with other adults and just have some fun. Just don't know if everybody's willing to play tackle football with me anymore, because everybody's afraid of getting injured. But I'll find my group. Other things, cultural and traditional activities like cultural dances, Tai Chi, and other traditional dances based off of whatever countries that you might be from, right? So that's a way to connect with your heritage and also still getting that movement in, right? Then other functional fitness, like carrying groceries, moving furniture, daily life tasks. So you can even find yourself having a hobby or a job where you're doing it on the side just to be able to get a little extra fitness in, but then you're also being able to get some extra money in, right? So if you were a mover for other people or whatever, if you're moving their furniture, yes, you're getting a little bit of a workout in, and you're getting paid to do it. Who else does not love to get paid to get stronger, to get more in shape, right? Most of us are paying to get in shape, but I would love to be able to get paid to get into shape, right? So that's just a few things. I gave you guys 3 slides just to give you guys a lot of different activities that you can be able to do that is going to be much better than what most of us are probably finding ourselves doing, that are going to quickly be able to burn that initial fat off in a heartbeat. Now, I say all of that to make sure that you guys are truly understanding that none of that is going to overwrite a crappy diet at the end of the day. All right. If you eat nothing but chips, nothing but fries, fried food, and just everything terrible under the sun, just straight carbs and fats, working out is not going to get you the body that you want. So I just wanted to put that out there, that when it comes to nutrition, that is literally the thing that is going to be most of the battle for weight loss. You can literally do very little activities, but if you were to lock in the nutrition side of things and actually switch it from a high carb, high fat lifestyle to a one that's much more in high protein and high fiber, you're going to instantly see weight loss just from that by itself. So I just wanted to point that out, that no matter all of these things that we're talking about, the exercise is not going to overwrite if you have a crappy lifestyle outside of the exercise that you're doing. All right. So for the people who are literally just getting started with moving, all of those things that I listed in the previous slide are going to automatically have you start to lose some amount of body fats. But that's going to be the newbie body fats that you're going to be losing. So you might lose 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 pounds, depending on where you're starting, right? But after that, you're going to start to get to the point where you want to make sure that you're doing very specific things to make that fat loss sustainable. So while you're in this beginner phase, while you're still trying to figure out what's really going to be the best for you, allow yourself to experiment. Allow yourself to really go out there and see what really works for you. Because I would hate for you to try something and say, I don't like this thing. So I guess I'll just completely give up on working out. I'll completely give up on physical activities. And that's what I don't want for you guys. I want for you to find what is the thing that's going to be best for you. What is the thing that's going to be most sustainable for you? Because that's the thing that's going to make that weight loss happen and stay. All right. So that's for this phase within your life. But what are my things that I recommend the most? What are the things that I have done that have worked for me? So My personal recommendation is at least 3 days of some type of full body resistance training. Because at the end of the day, you want to find yourself working the muscles within your body so that they can be able to get stronger. And then also be able to allow yourself to do some type of cardio that you enjoy on the days off outside of that. It can be as simple as just going for a 30-minute walk. If you have dogs, you can literally just take the dogs for a 30-minute walk around the block a few times, right? Or it can be doing any of those activities where you're going rock climbing or going for a run or going for a swim or anything like that. Some form of cardio that you enjoy the most on those days where you're not completely destroying those muscles, but they can be rebuilt to get stronger. The biggest issue that I like to see, which is the reason why I have this warning at the bottom, is that some folks actually place too much importance on the cardio side of things and not enough on the full body resistance side of things. And as a result, and this is something that happened to me, not because of the working out, but because of the actual nutrition side of things. But if you find yourself actually putting too much focus on the cardio side of things and not enough on resistance training, you'll find that that scale will be going down. You'll see those numbers going down. You'll think, oh, yeah, I'm losing fat. It's game time. We're making it happen, baby. But the thing is, if that weight loss is drastic, if it is extremely fast, you're most likely losing more than just fats. You're most likely losing fat and muscle. And if you find yourself losing fat and muscle at the end of the day, when you get down to a certain body weights, it's going to be at a certain body weight where your metabolism has slowed down as a result of that muscle loss, where you find yourself eating the same thing, but you're going to find yourself actually creeping up in terms of that weight bit by bits. Why? It's because your metabolism slowed down for every pound of muscle or for every bit of muscle that you lost. So as a result, we want to actually find ourselves maintaining or even building up on that muscle as we're losing weights. It's going to make that scale not drop down as quickly, and you might actually see it jump up time to time because muscle weighs more than fat. But that is why we want to make sure we're paying attention to our body composition. We're paying attention to what we see in the mirror and taking photos of ourselves on a weekly basis instead of just paying too much attention to the scale. So that is the biggest thing that I really want to make sure that we're putting attention on, making sure that we're doing what we can to maintain or build the muscle that we have within our body so our metabolism doesn't suffer. All right. Next thing, what does that mean in terms of weight resistance or resistance training? So that typically means like lifting weights or doing calisthenics, in which calisthenics simply just means some type of body weight training or even resistance band training. So some form of that 3 times a week where and if we were to look at it some type of routine, I would say, for example, a push day, a pull day, and a leg day. Something that is just making sure that you can be able to hit all of the different muscles within your body over the course of the whole week. All right. And it doesn't have to be anything that's extremely crazy. You don't have to spend an hour or two doing it. That's mainly for the people who've been doing it for 5, 10 plus years who are trying to look like the Hulk. And I don't think anybody here is trying to look like the Hulk, maybe except for Sydney. Am I correct on that? All right. So yes, if you've never created a workout plan for yourself, that's where we can be able to work with the community, work with me, work with other people, work with somebody who knows what they're doing. Just be able to create a very simple plan for yourself. It doesn't have to be anything more than 3 days, where you just create something that has very simple workouts for yourself. And then for those other days, choose some specific activity that you want to do for your cardio. Like I said, if you want to just go for a walk and have a conversation with mom, dad, with your best friends, or watch anime while you're on a treadmill for a quick 30-minute walk, there's plenty of ways to be able to get that cardio in. Just set up a specific plan, open up your calendar, and choose specific days. Choose 3 days out of the week as a bare minimum for the resistance training, and then choose the other days at a very specific time where you want to do that, do those cardio activities, and then you're golden. And then as a bonus, to make sure that you're not doing this on hard mode, you want to make sure that you're getting good rest. Because if you're not getting sleep, if you're not getting quality sleep of on average 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and you're not managing your stress, you're basically taking this journey and switching it to hard mode. Now, I don't know how many of you guys love playing video games on hard mode, but I typically will switch it to normal mode. I'll see what the description says for easy mode. I'll see what the description says for hard mode, and then I'll still switch it to normal mode because I want to allow myself to enjoy the experience at the whole time instead of finding myself suffering through the game, even if it means I gain experience points faster, right? So that's the same case in here. Make sure you're getting that sleep and stress managed beforehand, uh, which I talk a little bit in this part right here. Sleep and stress are everything. Um, and then outside of that, it also helps with your immune system, with the different bodily functions. It helps with focus, especially for those of us who have the type of jobs where we have to make sure we're paying attention to the different tasks that we have going on. Helps with hormones. Helps with just being around other people and making sure that we're not irate and so forth. So sleep and stress. And we can get into the fine details of what that looks like within another webinar if we needed to be. But I just wanted to stress the importance of those in terms of making everything else much easier. And here's a couple practical tips. So if you have the types of habits where you find yourself struggling to be able to implement to add these things into your lifestyle, because it's one thing to add it into your calendar to say, okay, I'm going to work out on this day at this time, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go for a jog, or I'm going to hop on my bike and go for a bike ride at this time on this day. And you might find yourself just regularly going into your normal routine. After you leave from work, you get home, you had the desire to go and do that thing, but you still went into your room. You probably hit that little PlayStation button, you heard that beep, and once you hear that beep, it's over with. Everything that you planned is gone. You're in the zone now. So how can you remove that habit? How can you switch that up to actually have you do the thing that you told yourself you were going to do beforehand? So yes, we started off by adding it into the calendar. That's the first thing. Another thing that we can do is set reminders. If we set specific alarms or reminders into our phone to let us know, hey, you said you were going to do this. You're still going to do it, right? So you can say, "All right, let me go do that before I actually sit down." Because once I sit down, it is very hard to get back up. That's the reason I suck at squats, because it is very hard for me to stand back up. That's my dad joke of the day. But allow your phone, which is sometimes the thing that holds us back the most, allow your phone to also be your best friend, because it can be the thing that can give you the reminders to help you stay on track. Or you can also use things like app blockers, because for those of us who find ourselves doom scrolling, for example, or watching tons of YouTube videos, or looking at Instagram reels and so forth, allow yourself to have app blockers. There are different app blockers out there in the app store where you can turn those on and have it automatically switch off when you know that there are specific things that you're supposed to be doing. So it'll take you back out of the sunken place, as I like to call it, and say, "Oh, right, I'm back in the real world. What am I supposed to be doing?" And you can see that reminder saying, "Hey, get your butt up to go work out." And you say, "All right, let me go do this." That's another thing. If you get up in the early, if the first thing that you are planning to do is to get up and go on workouts, how can you make that easier? Well, first, you can actually go to sleep with your workout clothes on. So the less stuff that you need to do, the less opportunities your brain is going to give you to say, let me hop back in the bed. So if you remove that first barrier of already being dressed for the gym, that's a plus. If you were to take your alarm, and this is the big one for a lot of people, if you were to take your alarm and place it to the other side of your room, because the hardest part for a lot of us is to actually get out of the bed and start moving. If we actually have that alarm right next to us, a lot of the time we might find ourselves just grabbing it, turning it off, and going right back to sleep. Raise your hand if you've done that before. I know I've done that multiple times in college. I think I actually missed one of my exams because of that. Believe it or not. But if that one of those initial hardest hurdles is actually just getting up to go for that, to go and make it happen, place that alarm on the other side of the room, so you have to get up and go over there and turn it off and say, "Well, I'm already up. Let me continue it. Let me get the momentum rolling." All right. And then allow yourself to track the changes, because if you're just looking at the scale, you're going to get depressed if you're not seeing that number go down quickly enough. So when you're tracking the changes, you're literally taking progress photos of yourself. You're literally tracking the measurements of your body, like what are the size of my arms, what is the size of my chest, what is the size of my waist, what is the size of my hips, so you can actually see those changes, because those are the changes that matter, not so much the number that's on the scale. And then, of course, having other people with you that you can do this with. That's part of the reason why we have this NouriGain community, because you want to be able to have folks that can be able to help you when you're struggling, and have other people that you can be able to help to make you feel better along the way of the journey. But also, even if you find yourself doing something the wrong way, it's always much more fun when you're doing it with other people. If I'm working out and I'm doing all the wrong stuff, or if I'm going into the gym and I've never gone to the gym before and I'm like, oh man, I don't know how to do these workouts. If I'm with one or two other people, I instantly feel much more brave going inside of there, because I know I have other people, at least somebody that can be able to help me, or somebody else that we can all both be able to laugh together and say, hey, what the heck are we doing? We're going to figure this out together, as compared to feeling alone in the world and saying, okay, all of these people are super duper in shape. That guy has abs poking through his shirt. That lady has glutes that are bigger than a mountain. I'm intimidated by all of these people. But instead, you can have your group that says, we can do this together, especially if you're doing home workouts, because sometimes it can be very discouraging to do home workouts. But if you have somebody who's there to do the home workouts with you, so for example, we're on this video call right now. This could have been a video call of us doing a workout right now. These slides that we're looking at could have been a live workout video where I was sitting here doing the workouts in front of it. And I could have been watching you guys right now also doing the workout with us. Well, with me. So we all could have been doing this together. That's an example of people doing a screen share and working out together, even though it's remotes. So you don't have to feel like you're alone when you're doing your workouts. So that's where you can have that accountability buddy and say, all right, let's put this in the calendar. We're going to work out together on this day, this day, and this day. We're going to follow this workout plan where we're going to do these videos. We're going to watch these kickboxing videos, and we're going to practice the moves while we watch the YouTube video and do it. Right. So that's how you can make it more fun and have somebody to be there to do it with you. Post within that group after you guys have done your workouts. Hey guys, we just knocked out our first workout. Hey guys, we just knocked out a full week of workouts, or we just followed along with our meal plan for the first time for a full week. This feels awesome. Hey guys, I just knocked out my first 12-hour, 14, 16, 24-hour fast, so that we can congratulate each other. Or if you're finding yourself struggling, you can jump into the group and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, or hey, I feel like I lost my motivation. What can I do to get my motivation up? Because at the end of the day, when you have people there to help you, it literally keeps you moving. All right. If you want to go fast, do it alone. But if you want to go far, do it together. All right. So that's everything that I had planned for you guys to discuss for this webinar. I want to open up for Q&A, or I like to joke, A's and Q's, and see what you guys have.
What do you do about sleep when you have a night schedule?
So are you saying that you work during the night? Is that what you mean by a night schedule?
Yeah, like your job requires you to wake up in the middle of the day and then sleep like you have to like go to work and literally like work a graveyard shift. Like how do you get around sleep with that? Because I know that there's there's like the idea of like sunlight being a key element for helping like your circadian rhythm and that kind of stuff, and like helping you wake up. And um I know that that can be like a huge factor for lost quality in sleep. And so like how would someone navigate that?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So this is actually funny because I actually just worked with somebody this past weekend to get everything set up for him on this. So if you find yourself working late at nights and you're supposedly sleeping during the day, right? One of the biggest things that really help to make sure you can trick your mind at the very least in order to put itself into sleep mode, even though outside is broad daylight, is to one, I would say, well, the best environment for that sleep environment is for it to be cold, dark, and quiet. How do you make it dark even though it's daytime? Blackout curtains. put blackout curtains anywhere, all throughout your house, so you can basically make your place look like you were living with Batman. All right, so that's the first thing. Second thing, make sure that that environment is quiet. Now, if you're somebody who has very young kids like myself, you might be screwed. You might find yourself just having somebody kicking in your door, no matter what time of the day it is, or what time of the night it is, and that's just all I can do is pray for you. But if you have a quiet environment, that helps for a lot of people. But believe it or not, white noises are great for helping babies sleep, but they're also great for helping adults sleep. It is literally in our nature for us to have different white noises that have helped us sleep. That's part of the reason. And let me know if you felt this experience. If you were growing up and you hopped up in a car and your dad or mom were driving you anywhere and you just find yourself just automatically knocking out, as part of that white noise. The engine, the sound of the engine of the car it's a type of white noise that'll put you to sleep, as well as the vibrations of the car. It's almost like it's a very low key massage and white noise that's going to just put you into sleep mode. So if you can play different apps or YouTube videos that'll play different white noises, like the sound of wind or the sound of water crushing onto the beach, the sound of trees swishing like you're in a forest. These are things that we're trying to prime our minds to be very similar to what it was like for our ancestors, because they had to adapt to make themselves find comfort in certain environments that made them be able to sleep better. So what we're doing is we're replicating that for some of us that need at least some type of sound. We're using white noises. So we don't want to use like music and things like that, because those aren't things that are putting us into a sleep environment. Those sometimes are putting us into a, hey, let's party, let's have fun type of mode. So a dark environment, a quiet environment, and then a cold environment. If your place is hot, like where it is right now, since our AC just went out today, if your place is hot, it's going to mess with your sleep quality, right? So it's gonna make you struggle with being able to stay asleep throughout the whole time, or at the very least, it's going to make it hard for you to stay within those deep sleep modes, the REM sleep and the deep sleep. You want to find yourselves bouncing within those different modes. You might find yourself spending a lot of time in the light sleep section, which is not great for recovery. And then, yeah, so creating an environment is probably the biggest thing. And then if you're if you were to set that environment within the hour before you want to go to sleep, that'll help your body trick itself into thinking that it's nighttime and actually helping you feel more sleepy. Another few things that I like is to not have caffeine within 10 hours before it's time to go to sleep. Uh, to not have any water within the 3 hours within 2 hours before you go to sleep. No food within 3 hours before you go to sleep. And no bright lights. So no bright lights slash blue lights. So for example, I wonder if I can show this right now. Just barely. So I have a setting on my phone where it automatically switches to a grayscale. It automatically switches to a grayscale, and it actually turns a blue light filter on when it's time for my eyes to switch, so I can be able to sleep more easily. You want to make sure you're not looking at the blue lights within the hour before it's time for you to go to sleep, or else that's also going to have an effect on your sleep. So using those things should, at the most part, for most people, make it much easier to one, start feeling tired, and be able to have better sleep quality. But did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Awesome.
I'm I'm trying to ask questions that other people who are not here yet at these would also want to know. So, because I don't have a night schedule, but
I got you. I appreciate it.
yeah.
I appreciate it. Um, but how about anybody else? Anybody else got any other questions? Was I able to answer everything that you might have had, Francis, for example? was able to get down into the details, or were there other things that you were probably thinking that I could probably touch on?
You're muted, by the way.
Oh, okay. There we go. No, that seems pretty basic and understandable. It's I I was just more curious about if there's some exercises that are more beneficial than others. Like if you're trying to burn fat, is weight loss better in weightlifting, or would cardio be something you'd want to focus on for like burning fat?
So this one's a bit controversial. All right. So in my opinion, cardio is actually, and I'll say the cardio that's like running and intense hit training and so forth, that can actually in some cases make it a bit harder for some people to burn fats. So when it comes to doing a high intensity or going for a run, let's say if you're running a couple miles, right? Let's say if that was your cardio, that will typically burn, probably maybe a couple hundred calories, right? But what that is actually going to do is going to make you so much hungrier that you'll actually most likely eat all of those calories that you just lost. Plus, your body is probably going to react and say, all right, you just did all of this work. Let's rest more than you usually do for the rest of the day. So you'll probably actually eat those calories up that you just worked off, and you'll move less than what you normally do. And I'm not saying this is automatically the case for everybody, but in some people's cases, that actually creates the opposite effect, in which in that case it actually makes them start to gain a bit of fats, or makes them completely plateau just from doing that type of cardio, as
Hmm.
compared to something like weightlifting, where weightlifting, it doesn't burn as many calories in the moment, but in the long run, it's supposed to be able to burn more calories on a daily basis. Because as I was saying earlier, when you're lifting weights, well, let me not say lifting weights. When you're doing resistance training, you're building up muscle, and that muscle is going to speed up your metabolism. So as a result, even though you might not be moving on those days where you're not working out, you're still burning more calories than what you would have in the past, if that makes
Okay,
sense. So
that
that's
makes
why
sense.
so that's why I personally prefer weightlifting, or yeah, in my specific case, I love to lift weights. And I love to think about it as a video game. I like to look at my stats with the bench press, with the squats and everything. I'm saying, all right, this is my high score. Let me try to beat my high score. That's how I gamify working out. And some people actually think about that in terms of going for a run. Okay, this is my score that I've created for my 1 mile run. Let me try to beat that and go faster. That's how we make it more enjoyable. Was I able to answer what you're
Yeah,
looking for?
no, yeah, that helps.
Awesome, awesome. Now, do you enjoy lifting weights, or
No,
do you enjoy cardio more?
I don't like either.
Gotcha,
I hate working out. I just do it.
gotcha. So are you still on the path of figuring out which type of movement activities you would find most enjoyable?
Yeah, I've tried different things, but like the one that I found somewhat enjoyable is swimming. But even
Mm-hmm.
then, I'm like by the first lap, I'm like, all right, that I'm bored. Like it's not fun. I'm swimming in a circle,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Yeah. So have you tried any games inside the water that you've played with people?
No, I haven't done anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say that may actually give you exactly what you're looking for. And when it comes to, like, for example, lifting weights, is boredom also the thing they get you, or is it like the pain of your muscles saying like, ah,
No, it's definitely the boredom. Like
mm,
the most entertaining is cardio for me because at least with that I could put on like something I can watch Bones or something and you know walk for an hour or like stuff like that or even on the treadmill or on the elliptical. It's I sit in place, but at least I can like catch up on a show or an anime or whatever it is. And
hmm.
meanwhile, weightlifting is like, okay, I got to concentrate on my rest times and whatnot.
Okay. Now, when you work out, do you work out by yourself?
Yeah.
So one of the things that made me enjoy, I think I would say the moments that I enjoyed working out the most were the moments where I worked out with people that I enjoyed spending time with. Sometimes I had certain friends that I would work out with who would just be joking the whole time. We're still making gains, but we're just joking the whole time and having fun. And it made it so much easier to look forward to it. Or there were
Hmm.
just other people who I love to teach. So with me bringing in other people who never worked out, for example, or who didn't know how to do this workout or another workouts, it made me feel more enjoyment to say, "Oh, can't wait to teach this person this move," or "I can't wait or I can't wait to see this person progress on their gains journey." So that's a thing that has made me look forward to it, or just other people who are even ahead of where I am, where I can say, "Oh man, I'm about to go over here and work out with this person who's been doing it for 30 plus years. I can't wait to see what I can learn from this person, or I can't wait to see this person lift 800 pounds again, like I did last week." So just, I've always found that when I worked out with other people, there were always different things that made me enjoy it more. But that may be the big unlock for you is to find your crew. What is your crew of people that you can consistently go to the gym with and look forward to doing it because you look forward to meeting up with them? I'm not saying that you have to have the answer right now, but
Oh,
I think that can potentially be your biggest unlock for yourself to make
uh,
you enjoy working out more.
is that something I would like put on like Tinder or something? To like,
Whoa. You don't want to hop on Tinder. You don't want to say that in front of your wife.
isn't Tinder like
No,
the friend finder one? I
no,
thought
but
No,
Grinder was the dating one.
she is laughing her butt
Wait,
off
is
right
because
Grinder
now.
is
I
wait
knew he was gonna say Tinder. Like I was like, which is the worst one that he could
wait no
say?
is Grinder the friend finding one
No,
or
I think
that's even
Grinder is
worse.
also for Grinder is also for
oh
dating.
I thought there was one for because so okay well I guess I won't hop on either of those.
Yeah, please
Uh,
don't.
no,
Please
but
don't.
so the problem for me is that when I go to the gym it's empty because I'm there at like 1 o'clock in the morning,
Mm.
so no one's up, and so it's not like I can go up to hey like you want to work out together because it's usually just me.
So you need some nighttime warriors.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's actually that's actually good to know. I'm gonna I'm gonna see what I can do about that. That's a good scenario to figure out how to create a workout group when you work out, shall I call it during the night shift, the nighttime gain shift. So I know that there are ways to be able to find people who do these activities because obviously, as we know, there are plenty of people who work during the nighttime. But how do we find those people? There might be different Facebook groups and so forth like that, but I'm gonna do some research to find that answer for you. Is that fine with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, good to know. But what about the cardio things that you do? So what specifically do you do for your cardio? Because I think you said you
So
hopped on elliptical.
yeah, elliptical, and I used to I don't know if Stairmaster is like a brand or not, but I get on the stair climber thing.
Okay, okay. And how long do you do those sessions?
It's about 30 minutes each. So like
Okay.
I start with the stair climber until it usually because it's on the timer,
Mm-hmm.
and then I switch to the elliptical. Uh, I think that's what they're called. The ones that you like that has the handles and your feet swing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I prefer that over the treadmill
Yeah.
because my fat, you can hear the treadmill clunking every step I take.
Ah,
So,
that's the reason you hate it. I hate it for a different reason. I hate it because I always feel like I'm about to fall off.
uh,
If I make one wrong step and I just ran into the bar or something like that. So yeah, that's good to know. And you said that you basically just pull up your phone and you watch something while you're on it.
yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's the thing that I found to make it at least the most enjoyable while doing it. Now, that's nothing that's going to make it say, "Oh, well, I can't wait to hop on this elliptical. I can't wait to hop on the stairmaster and so forth." But just every little thing that we can do to make it more enjoyable for ourselves, I would say that that's what would make it better. Um, and even if you wanted to just have a phone call with somebody and just chat it up with somebody while you're doing it, that can even be a great way to go about it. But once again, we know that if it's at 1 a.m, it's probably not a lot of people who are going to be awake to be able to chat with you. But yeah, I'll also try to figure out what are some other things that we can be able to do. I know that my go-to is just watching anime. Pull up a quick anime episode, and that's typically about 22 minutes or so. And that'll get me through most of that workout, or maybe a different movie, an anime movie. And I'll watch that, and I'll be like, oh, well, 30 minutes is over. Let me get off of this thing because I do not want to be on here any more than 30 minutes. Um, so yeah, that's typically my go-to. But like you were saying, if you're still finding yourself bored with it, um, is there anything within this webinar, within these different activities that you feel that you might want to try out, that you think you might enjoy to get that cardio in?
Uh, what like what we talked about, or
Yeah. So, for example, anything within the unconventional side of things, anything within these slides that you might have noticed, and you're like, oh, let me try that out to see if I would enjoy it.
are there slides?
Oh no, you can't
Oh,
see the slides?
let's see. Oh, am I still here?
Yeah. Please don't tell me
Oh,
everybody wasn't able to see the slides this whole
I can
time.
see the slides, but he's on his
Okay.
phone, so I wonder if
oh.
that's
Okay, I
Well,
was going
I
to say
see.
people haven't been able to see the slides this whole time.
no. You're no. It looks beautiful though.
Oh,
Good
thank
job.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see why. I'm on. I was on the group
The gallery view.
gallery view.
Ah, instead of presenter view, I think is what
Yeah.
it's called. Okay. Yeah, if I were to show you what those look like again. So, for example, we have the dance-based workouts. We have water sports, like rock climbing and bouldering, or should I say indoor and outdoor climbing. We have some adventure sports like parkour, mountain biking, trail running, obstacle course racing. Please tell me if you would do biking because I used to race the bus to and from my home back when I was in college. There's gardening or yard work or chopping wood if you want to feel like a lumberjack. Uh, there's different games that you can play to get yourself moving because at the end of the day, we're all gamers, right? So if you
Yeah.
have a Wii, I know you got that large collection back there, so there might be some Wii games back there to be able
I
to
do
play,
got that.
or some VR games. Are there any VR games that you might have had a lot of joy with? Um, or martial arts. Martial arts, I would say, is a big one. I would highly recommend some type of martial arts for everybody to try out the different ones because I feel like there's a one for everybody. But martial arts or any type of team sports that you might want to try, um, any cultural activities or any just different random functional fitness activities.
Yeah. I guess gaming really is the only one I find somewhat enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
but Yeah, other than, like I think I got into Dance Dance Revolution for a while, but
Oh,
like
wow.
I had dance pads, but I think most of them broke.
We have one in the closet.
Yeah, that one's broken too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've never done DDR, at least inside of a house before, but I did have. She looks so shocked right now. I've always seen it out and about, but when I was in college, and I said I was going to bring this up. When I was in college, I had when I was in my fourth year of college, it was me and my roommates, and we used to always joke slash make fun of our neighbors that lived above us because we would always hear a lot of loud booming and so forth. We were like, man, those neighbors up there playing DDR again. So that was just a little joke that I was referencing earlier during the presentation and so forth. But yeah, if you enjoy DDR, you might have to buy some new pads and get back at it. If you feel that you enjoy that more than you do hopping on the treadmill or hopping on the elliptical, hopping on the stairmaster and so forth, because that
Hmm.
that's a form of cardio that gets you going that you can actually find fun in, and it's more sustainable, right?
Hmm.
I
That's
know
what
they
we want.
have like more types of dance games nowadays too than what we had when we were younger.
I've
Because there's
seen
like
them.
Just Dance. Yeah. Are they not appealing?
No, they're they're fine. It's just that those require those the connect and whatnot, and they're not as appealing to me, but like I know they're pretty cool.
Hmm. Yeah, feel free to try it out and see. And because I know sometimes we can have expectations on how fun we think something might be just by looking at it. But if we dive into it, we come to realize, oh yeah, I'm actually enjoying this. I've felt this way about plenty of video games. In all honesty, plenty of times I find myself looking on the Xbox Game Pass and I'm like, "Ah, this looks kind of weird, but I guess I'll try it." Prime example was Octopath Traveler.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's one of those turn-based RPGs where you have eight different characters, where you dive into their life and help each of them. You have each of them solve um, a very specific story within their lives. But all of these eight characters actually come together, and you work through solving each person's stories as you all meet each other at different points. And without spoiling it too much, there's a big bad at the very end where everybody comes together and fights it. Kind of like what's the name of the game? Final Fantasy, essentially.
Hmm.
That's the most I can tell you without spoiling it.
Hmm.
But yeah, but that would be my recommendation though, because yeah, there are probably some things out there that will blow DDR out of the water. I know it's one of the OGs and everything, but as Sydney was saying, there's a lot of different games out there that you might be able to jump into and have so much fun with. Because that's the thing that we really want at the end of the day. How can we make this more fun? How can we make it easier? So if it's easier where you don't have to leave the house, for example, if it's 1 in the morning, you can just, open it up and do your thing, knock it out for a quick 30 minutes and be like, all right, that was dope. Let me get to something else. Because you don't have to play the game for an hour, right? Just a quick 30-minute session, a couple levels, level up a little bit, and then keep it moving. What you
You should
think
make a
about that?
list of games for the NouriGains group of all the different games that are out there. That would be good.
Oh yeah, all of the ones that get people moving. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like what's
Oh yeah.
Beat Saber? Like, is that
Oh, you
I've
never
heard
played
about
Beat
it.
Saber?
Mm-mm.
Oh
No, is that something you can play from home or is that like something you have to like go to an arcade or something
No,
to do?
no, you play
they
that at
probably
home.
have it on
Mhm.
PlayStation. It's a VR.
Yeah, I think they
Hmm.
actually do have it on PlayStation. I played it
Hmm.
for the first time when somebody gave me a VR headset, and I was
Mhm.
like, okay, let's do this. I'll try some games out. And Beat Saber was one of the first games, and I loved that. I was actually playing that during COVID, where nobody was able to go to the gym, and I was like, I gotta
Yeah.
get some type of cardio in, and I was
Nice.
Beat Saber in my butt off, slicing the red and blue lines and everything. They got you doing a little bit of ducking, sometimes stepping to the side and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of arm activity where you're slicing these red lines to the beats, essentially. So if you love music and you love slicing, that's a great game.
We always have issues where because we have the headset for the PlayStation and we get like motion sickness. Did you have that experience at all when you're playing?
No, I never did, if I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, okay. So maybe it'll be like that one escape room we did that one time, Francis.
Mhm.
We did like this like escape room that was a VR escape room thing, which it wasn't really an escape. We didn't really have to escape anything, but we were like ninjas and we were becoming ninjas and like doing all these puzzles in VR. It was really cool.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love myself a good escape game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really nice because it gave you like a barrier, so it wasn't like when you because a lot of the games is when you run in place.
Mm-hmm.
But with that one, is like it actually gave you a barrier, so like you could actually walk around the room that you were in,
Hmm.
and I
Wow.
think that helped a lot. Where it's like I actually felt movement rather than like things moved around
Hovering.
me. Yeah,
Yeah, or pressing a button and you automatically teleport.
Oh, ugh. I'm getting
uh,
sick just thinking about it.
Yeah, Beat Saber is nothing like that. You actually,
Okay.
when you move, you're moving
Mm.
with your I guess your character and so forth. Because you actually
Okay.
have to move in order to avoid certain obstacles, like a giant wall coming out. You have to step to the side in order to avoid it.
Mm.
So it's your movement. Then they also have a boxing game that I've boxing VR game that I've tried as well. Can't remember what it was
Boxing.
called, but that one was pretty fun as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honey, they have Marshall Beat Saber.
what? Oh,
Marshall Beat Saber.
Like
I'm like looking on
magic,
YouTube right now.
like magic and muscles.
Yeah, yeah, they've got a Marshall Beat Saber.
Ooh,
Mm. Hmm.
you
Now we
making me
just
want
gotta
to
get
get.
the now we just gotta get the not like us Wii Sports boxing cover in there.
It's just gonna be all not like us songs. Beat
Yeah,
Saber.
yeah. Yep. Beat Saber, not like us, but it's gonna be whatever is in the background.
The whole game. It's not like us, Saber.
Yes.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
So
Uh,
yeah, I would love for you to try that out and see how that goes. Because remember, the world is big as we know it. So there's a lot of things out there for us to experiment with. And with there being a lot of things out there, you most likely just haven't found your thing. So allow
mhm.
yourself to experiment and find what Francis enjoys the most. And those are going to get you moving, and moving is ultimately what's going to help you burn that fats. Not simply doing something just for the sake of trying to get to the goal, even though that helps. But when you can find ways to enjoy it more, that's when you can truly just say, no, I do it because it's a part of my life, instead of I do it just because I want to get this result.
Mhm.
All right. I hope this seminar was or webinar was useful. Gave you guys some value in one way or another. Even though unfortunately you weren't able to see the slides for the whole call.
Now I know for next time.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, most definitely. But of course, if you guys have any other questions that pop up as a result of this, let me know. I would love to be able to get any feedback to see how I can be better, how I can do this better, make it more engaging, make it more exciting, and so forth. And and if anybody is watching this video in the future and you want to figure out how can you get your questions answered for us to have a whole webinar session to be able to answer your question directly, or just to be able to jump on these calls, jump into school.com, look up NouriGain, NOURI, GAIN. That's a place where we gamify fitness and healthy eating. But for everybody else, I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.
Bye.